first name that would come up to anyone's mind here in Russia, that will be Hi guys, I'm Julie, I'm from Russia, and if you're wondering what is Russia most famous for, of course, it's Russian literature. And I know you probably heard about some authors, but there are some other authors that are really famous here in Russia and not so popular overseas. So let's start from here. But before we start, guys, if you're new here, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. It really would mean a lot to me. Hit the thumbs up here, comment down below what you think, and now let's go. If we would play here in Russia like association game and someone would say like name a Russian author, name a Russian writer, and the first name that would come up to anyone's mind here in Russia, that will be
Tolstoy.
Pushkin.
Alexander Pushkin. I know Alexander Pushkin maybe not so popular overseas. Anyways, guys, he is really popular here in Russia. Like everyone knows him because he's written a lot of fairy tales, poems, novels, a lot of things he has done in his really short life. Every book that I'm gonna just like say, it all included to school program, so everybody pretty much know about them, have read it, or just like heard of it here in Russia. So the first one, of course, is Eugene Onegin. Evgeny Onegin. It's actually kind of poem, you know, it's a novel written in verse and is one of the most influential works of Pushkin in particular and for Russian literature in general, of course. The main character, Eugene Onegin, fashionable dandy, is forced to leave St. Petersburg and visit his uncle in a village. One of the local girls, a daughter of a landowner brought up on romantic novels, falls in love with him. Despite seeming to be a simple love story, the novel paints a concise picture of Pushkin's times. The next actually book gonna be Dostoevsky. I'm not gonna put information here. I will put information here. And the next book is actually The Captain's Daughter. The information is gonna be also here. The next author is gonna be Mikhail Lermontov. He also lived a short period of time, but I just like think this is amazing how much could a person do in his short period of time. The first is very popular. I actually love it too because, you know, I've been passing an exam in 2016 and I pretty much read a lot of Russian literature back then. And Hero of Our Time, it's about a character Pechorin treats women as an incentive for endless conquests and does not consider them worthy of any particular respect. He considers women such as Princess Mary to be little more than pawns in his games of romantic conquest, which in fact hold no meaning in his listless pursuit of pleasure. This is shown in his comment of Princess Mary. I often wonder why I'm trying so hard to win the love of a girl I have no desire to seduce and whom I'd never marry. So the next actually is a poem. It's about Borodino. It's about a war in Russia that happened between France and Russia in 1812. And here is what he wrote. Like, hey, tell, old man, how big a cost when Moscow, raised by fire, once was given up to Frenchmen's blow. Old-timers talk about some phrase and they remember well those days. It's caused all Russia fashions laced about Borodino. Скажи-ка, дядя, ведь недаром Москва, спаленная пожаром, французу отдана. Ведь были ж схватки боевые, да говорят еще, какие, недаром помнит вся Россия про день Бородина. So the next, actually you probably heard, of course, it's Leo Tolstoy and his book War and Peace. It's also about war in 1812 between Russia and France. And what is interesting about Russia in 19th century that most aristocrats actually spoke French language fluently. So let's get to the War and Peace. What I didn't like, it has 4 books and sometimes they are really boring. Some parts, like, you know, Leo Tolstoy, there's a joke going like in Russia, like about his description about oak, you know, and just let me read it. The old oak, utterly transformed, draped in a tent of sappy dark green, basked faintly undulating in the rays of the evening sun. Of the knocked fingers and gnarled excrescences, the age, grief, and mistrust, nothing was to be seen. Through the rough century old bark where there were no twigs, leaves and burst out so sappy, so young, that it was hard to believe that the aged creature had borne them. Oh my god, it sounds really frustrating in English. In Russian it's really boring too. I read it actually only in high school, but I didn't really even finish it, so I didn't do this in my, you know, grown-up life. Maybe I should do this. Other book is actually very famous. You heard about it. It even has a movie, American kind of movie, you know, Anna Karenina. I think I don't have to explain what the story is about. I don't really even remember, to be honest, but it is what it is.
Heartbroken, suffering, you're Anna Karenina.
That is why Leo Tolstoy is very known overseas and in America. America is overseas too, so. Okay, the another author is Fedor Dostoevsky. I know, I love it too. His book is very famous. You know, everybody knows about Raskolnikov, Crime and Punishment. I love it too. This is amazing. This is amazing, to be honest. I liked this character, you know, Raskolnikov. It's, I don't know why, because I think when you read it when you're grown up, I was also reading it in high school. It was amazing. It's one of my favorite books from school program. It's amazing. Just like, how many times is it amazing? It's amazing. This is amazing. It was amazing. Nikolay Gogol. You know, he has a lot of books. I'm just gonna say one, Dead Souls. Oh, so this Pavel Ivanovich Chichikov is actually collecting souls, you know, dead souls from other people. So yeah, basically he's going to travel around Russia and collecting dead souls. But for why? Yeah, we're gonna read it in his book. So actually what is interesting about these dead souls, he also actually was supposed to write or started writing the second book, but he burned it. He burned the second book, so that is why it's like a lot of stuff, you know, jokes going around the world, in Russia at least. Also, another author is Mikhail Bulgakov, and his book, very famous here, is also has a movie, The Master and Margarita. I honestly didn't like it. I don't know what is the fuss going about this book and the movie, but just like, okay, whatever. It's interesting. And the last but not the least is, of course, Boris Pasternak. Boris Pasternak has, his famous book is called Dr. Zhivago. Dr. Yuri Zhivago, Pasternak's alter ego, is a poet, philosopher, and physician whose life is disrupted by the war and by his love for Lara, the wife of a revolutionary. His artistic nature makes him vulnerable to the brutality and harshness of the Bolsheviks. Wandering throughout Russia, he is unable to take control of his fate and dies in utter poverty. So basically, a lot of Russian literature, you know, describes events of 19th century. It's most likely, you know, revolutions, wars, love, war, kind of tragic. In 20th century, there are a lot of new poems that got going, you know, just a lot of names that we are cherished here in Russia. All those names has either street names or has their own museums or parks or ponds, whatever this is. Even a restaurant called after Dr. Zhivago. I mean, the name of the very famous Russian literature definitely left its footprint in every aspect of our lives, and it's really what we are famous for, and I'm really proud of its Russian literature. So guys, if you're interested about part 2, I'm going to do 20th century review. I think we are going to do this stuff more regularly. If you like it, if you read some of the books, of Russian books, please comment down below. We can discuss it, whatever you do. And I think even reading some of the books, because I have to freshen up my memories about it. It's really amazing. Thank you guys really for watching. It really means a lot to me. I don't want to go so long about my outro, but anyways, and I see you next time. Bye.